Hello, welcome to my latest video. We're back at Liverpool John Lennon Airport and today we're going to Majorca. And first of all, I've got to say thank you to Liverpool John Lennon Airport for hooking me up with fast track parking tickets. This is guaranteed parking right next to the terminal building. Literally, you cannot drive any closer without probably ending up in handcuffs. Now seriously, I think this is even closer than meet and greet parking. Once you've parked up, it's a very short covered walk into the special entrance straight into check-in, where we were headed for the unmistakable orange of easyJet. Like I said, we're off to Majorca, me and the lad, for 5 nights all inclusive, and our first time using easyJet holidays. It's the budget airline, but their package holidays are fairly comparable in price to the other package operators. We're checked in, we're off to departures. I'll skip through this bit, but don't forget, if you're heading through Liverpool anytime soon, do watch my walkthrough video to make sure that you know what to expect, make your trip easier. The link is showing now in the top of the video. While you're there, it's a good time to hit that subscribe button as well. Now, the fast track parking doesn't just give you somewhere to put the car, but it also gives you fast track security. I can't take the camera through security, but I did start the stopwatch, and 4 minutes and 22 seconds later, for 2 of us, each with a bag, it's not bad going at all. Okay, it wasn't the busiest time in security, but imagine if we were there in the early morning rush, this would have been a godsend. Right, back to it, through duty free, and time for something to eat before getting on the plane. Are you hungry?
Yeah.
You are. So we chose Monty's Diner, 36 quid. We had a kid's sausage and chips and a mac and cheese for me. He took 1 bite of the meat-free sausage. It's the only option they had, and he didn't eat any more of it. So the diner was nice, but I think it'll be a Boots meal deal next time.
Oh yes, it's a good tunnel.
So why easyJet holidays? Well, like I said, the price was very comparable with the other main operators for that type of holiday that we were looking for. Also, I wanted to try easyJet holidays because I was less than impressed the last time I went with TUI last year. So I thought I'd try them out. So let's go. Round of applause on landing. No, I don't get it either. And I like Palma Airport. Departures and arrivals are in the same bit, so you actually have access to the shops and all the other facilities as soon as you get through passport control. But I quickly found myself feeling like a passenger on an ITV programme in the early 2000s. So it's now an hour since we landed. The text from easyJet Holidays told us to go to baggage line 5 for our bags, and it wasn't until I noticed all the tags were Aer Lingus that we were in the wrong line. So I finally found us all at bag 3, and ours was basically the last bag left. Now we've been left sat waiting to find out what's happening to our coach. Sat here for about 20 minutes so far and nothing. So first trip with easyJet Holidays, not going great so far. And we waited and we waited. And about an hour later, we were directed to our coach, where we had to wait even longer for other flights from across Europe to land. 2 hours after touching down, we left the airport. So welcome to Calas de Mallorca. We're here. And I basically had a bit of a whinge on camera then, so we'll come on to some of that later. But this is it. This is the Alua Calas de Mallorca resort. It's part of the World of Hyatt Group, and it has 2 buildings. Our room looked like this. It was a twin with a sea view, and what a view. Calas de Mallorca itself is a small laid-back resort on the island's east coast with a handful of bars, restaurants and shops. It's got a couple of small beaches as well, and it's enough for a relaxed evening out, but without the noise and the bustle of the big resorts across the island. But it is a bit out the way, especially when it comes to booking an excursion, which I'll come on to later. We went all-inclusive, and there are two main buffet restaurants, both serving the same food really. We've got a good range of options, fairly standard for an all-inclusive hotel. So these are for your three main meals of the day. There are also a few other options for snacks and lunch, serving things like salads and paella, sandwiches, burgers, chips and pizza, that type of thing. Now, I've had a couple of very busy, stressful months at work, so a kids club was on the top of the list of priorities, and luckily he loved it. He actually told me to leave him alone and stop going in and checking on him. They do a good variety of activities. They'll even take them to the snack bar for lunch and also supervise them in the pool. Now, during our holiday, we did have 2 days of severe weather, wind and rain, but that was okay because I booked through TUI to take a trip to the Pirates Adventure dinner show over in Magaluf. Or so I thought.
How can I help you?
Hey, yeah, I'm currently on holiday in Majorca, and I've had an email to come through to say that the pirate experience I'd booked for this afternoon has been cancelled. I just want to check if that's if that's the case, and sort of the reason why. Because I'm going to have a very upset 5-year-old son if that's the case.
I can see that it's saying that it's operational change.
Are there any other sort of experiences this evening, this afternoon, which are suitable for me and a 5-year-old boy?
I would ask it as well, and I will let you know if they can suggest to us some experience.
I'll wait to see if the local team get back to me. To be honest, I'm doubting they will. There's not going to be anything else we can do because of where we are on the island. There isn't many other excursions we can go on. It's still windy, so I wouldn't want to go on a boat. I'm gutted because it's the only excursion we booked. The only excursion we could really book. There was a couple of others, but the reviews were really bad, so I didn't bother. It's our last night. I'm just going to have a really upset 5-year-old now. And TUI did get back to me. It was cancelled because they didn't have enough people booked on to warrant the price of the coach across to the other side of the island. Not great, but it is what it is. But it is something to be mindful of if you are travelling to that side of the island. But at least for our final day, the sun came out. So back to the hotel, 3 pools. The main one has music playing and activities throughout the day. Then down the steps to a smaller pool and also the kids pool as well. The 2 main pools do have lifeguards, but leave your inflatables at home. That includes kids' rubber rings as well. They're just not allowed, and the lifeguards do come across quickly to tell you to put them away. Some beds, yes, they do get reserved in the morning by people with the towels, but if you talk to the lifeguards, they'll remove the towels of people who are taking the mick and haven't been there for a while. Oh, and the lifts. The numbers lie. I gave up trying to work out how they work. Just be ready for a long wait or a good walk up and down the stairs.
So excuse the sunglasses, but it's hot, it's sunny, and I'm enjoying that last bit of sun on the last day of our holiday. And I thought I'd just round up what I think of the hotel, the Alua Calas de Mallorca. And as the title of the video goes, it's an all-inclusive that isn't all-inclusive. Maybe a little harsh, but there are a couple of bits where this hotel has not quite met the mark for me. So the first one, when we arrived, we weren't made aware of any sort of amenities which were available to us, any food, any drink at all, because it was gone midnight. So the bars were closed, obviously the restaurant was closed. And I expected when we got to the room there to be a plate of snacks or just something and a couple of bottles of water or something, because that's what I've always had at other hotels when we've arrived past midnight, but there was absolutely nothing. So that's the first bit. The second bit is that when we checked in, they gave us a piece of paper with things like meal times and the different sort of amenities which are available. But then on it in big letters was that when you check out at midday on the last day, your wristband also gets cut off. Now that annoys me because we arrived after midnight during our first night. So we've had 4.5 nights, not the 5 that we paid for. So I would expect them to say, actually, because you're on a package deal, we know your coach will pick you up at about 8 o'clock tonight, so we'll leave that on. Instead, I've had to pay another, what's worked out to be around £32 for 2-day passes for me and the 5-year-old. Because, like I said, the coach is coming at about 8:45, I think, tonight. The other bit that's ticking me off is that I take this battered old cup with me everywhere. Because it's just what I do. Especially if it's somewhere where you know you're going to have help yourself drinks, last longer, keeps it cool for longer. But what they do here is they try to make you pay €1 for one of their plastic cups. And you're going to say, Andy, it's €1 or €2 with you and the boy, just pay it. That's not the point. When you forked out £1,200 for an all-inclusive holiday, I'm really stubborn and I don't like paying a penny for anything else when I'm here. I've even taken that to the bars to get drinks and they just won't do it. They just say it's impossible and will not serve. My way around it is that if you come down to where the kids' pool is, there's a help yourself station with the drinks and the beer, and you just pour it yourself. That's fine. They'll do it for the boy with his travel cup. They'll fill that with apple juice for me. But if I went to the bar in the day and asked for that to be filled up for me, whether it's soft drink or alcohol, they won't do it. At night, they will, because after 6:30 they serve you in glass in the bars. And then I just tip it in myself. But it annoys me that they keep adding on these little fees, these little extras if you want anything. They've got ice pops during the day for the kids, well, for anyone really, because the freezer's just there. But if you want ice cream, you have to pay more for it. If you want coffee that isn't just from the automatic machine, you have to pay for it.
Anyway, enough moaning, Andy. Overall, it was a really good holiday. Yes, there were some niggles, the delay leaving the airport and having nothing waiting for us when we got there. But other than that, the hotel is lovely, the food was good, and the view is amazing. But as the clouds rolled in and the sun started to set, it was time to get on the coach and head back to Palma Airport. It's also a good time to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Now, I know I said it earlier, this airport is huge. And like when we left Liverpool, no need to put your liquids in a separate bag, leave it all in your hand luggage, but it is still the same 100ml limit per bottle. And after a slight delay because of busy skies over Barcelona, it was time to head home. As you know, something I'm going to be doing on all these trips is when the seatbelt light goes off, I start the timer to see how long it takes to get through to arrivals. So there we go, 55 minutes and 48 seconds later. I'll be honest, I was expecting a lot better, but I guess time will tell if that's usual for landing into Liverpool or not. 5 nights all-inclusive at the Alua Calas de Mallorca resort for me and the 5-year-old cost me £1,261.60. That was for a double sea view room, and because it was with easyJet holidays, it included 2 23kg hold bags and the shared transfer. The price was comparable to other tour operators, being that it was in the first week of the summer holidays. And the blessing is that fast track parking, which means that it's just a few short steps outside the terminal building back to the car. That would have cost around £115, about 20 or 30 quid more than the other on-site airport parking options. So I would say that for a family, especially with the fast track security, it's well worth it. So there we go, back to the car, nearly an hour from when the seatbelt sign went off to coming out into the arrivals hall. So It's been a long day. It's been a good holiday though, despite the few little bits and the few little niggles. Thanks again to Liverpool John Lennon Airport for the fast track parking, because that's been great, because straight out the terminal building there, straight to the car, and we're off home. Thanks for watching the video. Please do subscribe, and I will see you on the next one.